Marley was dead to begin with. There's no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. And then Scrooge had signed it. And Scrooge's name was good for anything he chose to put his hand to. So I reiterate that old Marley was as dead as a doornail. That one thing you must remember, where nothing that follows will seem wondrous. Scrooge knew he was dead? Of course he did. Scrooge and Marley were partners for I don't know how many years. Yet not a tear was shed by him when his partner had passed, nor since. He was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone with Scrooge, a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. He was, well, I'll leave that for you to see for yourselves. For once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve. Old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house, a grim, cheerless place if ever there was one. The door of Scrooge's counting house was open that he might keep his eye upon his clerk, Bob Cratchit, who in a cold and dismal little cell beyond worked at his ledgers.
19, 20, 21, 22. Merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. 23, 26, 29, 9 carry 2 through Christmas Day. 17, 13, 17, 7.
Bob Cratchit.
Yes, Mr. Scrooge.
Stop that infernal caterwauling!
Yes, sir.
Singing their idiotic Christmas carols at my door. Go on! Get away from my door! Go somewhere else and bellow those blasted carols, or I'll give you a what for.
Why, Governor? It's an old custom at Christmas time, you know.
Yes, and I don't want your old customs. Take your fools and go away! Christmas. Bah. Humbug.
Right, sir. Merry Christmas anyway, sir.
Now, you, Mr. Cratchit. You get that letter from Higgins and Blackthorn, Cratchit. And then I want you to finish posting this ledger. And after that, you can pop over to Parthagil's and tell Ephraim Parthagil that you've come for the 17 shillings and 6 that he owes me. And tell him I shall have a constable over there if he doesn't pay at once.
Mr. Parthagil's wife has been ill, sir.
Oh, what do I care about his wife? I want what is owed me.
I just thought, it being Christmas, sir.
Christmas? Christmas? You mention that word to me one more time, Bob Cratchit, and I'll...
Oh, Merry Christmas, Uncle. Merry Christmas, Bob.
Merry Christmas, Fred.
God save you, Uncle.
Humbug.
Christmas? A humbug, Uncle. Now, I'm sure you don't mean that.
I meant just that. Exactly that. Merry Christmas. What right have you got to be merry? What reason have you? You're poor enough.
Well, what right have you to be dismal about Christmas, Uncle? You're rich enough. Uncle, don't be cross, please.
Well, what else can I be when I live in such a world of fools? What's Christmas to you but a time for paying bills without money? Merry Christmas. A time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with a Merry Christmas on his lips will be boiled in his own pudding, cooked with his own turkey, and buried with a stake of holly right through his heart.
Oh, Uncle!
Now, nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me to keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it, Uncle.
Well, let me leave it alone, then. What do you want? A Christmas gift, I've no doubt.
I came to wish you a Merry Christmas, Uncle Scrooge.
Merry Christmas! Much good Christmas may do you. Much good it ever has done you.
There are many things from which I derive good by, which I have not profited materially, I dare say, Uncle. Christmas among the rest. I suppose I always thought of Christmas as A good time. A kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe Christmas has done me good and will do me good, and I say, God bless it!
God bless Christmas. Hurrah!
Let me hear another sound out of you there, Bob Cratchit, and you'll keep your Christmas on the unemployment line. As to you, nephew, I wonder if you don't go into Parliament. You talk enough nonsense.
Uncle, please. Let's try to stand together this Christmas. Come and have dinner with me and Clara tomorrow.
I'd rather not.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you but your time. Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
Sorry you feel that way. Well, I tried.
Good afternoon. Wait,
Uncle?
why ever did you get married?
Why? Because I fell in love.
That's the only thing sillier in this world than a Merry Christmas.
It's no use, Uncle Scrooge. I shall keep my Christmas humor to the last. A Merry Christmas to you and a Happy New Year, too. Merry Christmas, Bob.
Merry Christmas, Fred.
Humbug! Nonsense. Twaddle. Flummery. Talking of Merry Christmas and not 2 sixpence to jingle together in his trouser pockets. Hey, you there, Bob Cratchit. Come here. What are you doing there?
I'm only putting a bit more coal in the fire, Mr. Scrooge, seeing it's so cold in there, sir.
You put that coal back in the scuttle. A fire? A fire, indeed. I tell you, if you use that coal at that rate, then you and I will be parting company, Bob Cratchit. You understand that? There's many a young fella like your situation, you know.
I'm sorry, sir. My fingers were getting a little stiff with the cold.
Then put on your mittens. There's someone at the door. Go on, go see who it is.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
This is the firm of Scrooge and Marley.
Yes, sir.
I should like to see the head of the firm, if I may.
Oh, very good, sir.
What is it?
A gentleman to see you, sir.
Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Molly's been dead these 7 years tonight. I'm Scrooge.
Well, now, Mr. Scrooge, at this season of the year, it's only fitting that we, who are more fortunate, should raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth. You may not believe it, sir, but many thousands are now in want of common necessities. And hundreds of thousands are in want of the simplest comforts.
Are there no prisons?
Well, there are plenty of prisons, sir.
In the workhouses, they're still in operation, I trust?
I wish I could say they are not, but they are, sir.
Treadmill and poor law are in full vigor, then?
Both very busy, sir.
Ah, excellent. For a moment, you had me worried.
All these institutions that you mention are flourishing, but it's nevertheless true that some additional provisions for the poor and the destitute must be made. A few of us upon are endeavoring to raise such a fund, you see, and what shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to remain anonymous, sir?
I wish to be left alone. I don't make merry myself at Christmas time, and I can't afford to help make a lot of idle people merry. My taxes go to pay for the prisons in the poorhouses. The homeless must go there.
Many can't go there, sir, and many would rather die.
If they would rather die, then they better do it and decrease the surplus population. Besides, I've only your word for it that all is so.
It's the truth, Mr. Scrooge.
Oh, so be it then. It is not my business. It is enough for a man to understand his own business and not to interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon, sir. There is the door. You may use it.
I quite understand, Mr. Scrooge.
Cratchit, show this gentleman out.
Yes, sir. This way, sir. Please. Sir, I couldn't help overhearing. I should like to contribute tuppence.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir. It isn't much, but it's all I can afford. But there are others in worse situation than I.
You're a good fellow. I wish I might say so of your employer.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Cratchit!
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Cratchit! Close the door!
Yes, sir. Four, 31, 1 carry 3,
Cratchit,
Yes, sir? Yes, sir?
it's too late to have you go to Parthagil's. He'll be closed up for Christmas, like these other fools. We may as well close up the place now.
Yes, sir. It is getting a little dark. Hard to read the figures.
Very well. I'll see you at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
But tomorrow's Christmas.
8:30 then.
If you please, sir. Half an hour hardly seems like...
I suppose you'll want the whole day off like everyone else, huh?
If it's convenient.
It's not convenient. It's not fair either. But I suppose I can't do anything about it, eh? If I was to stop half a crown of your wages, you'd think yourself very ill-used, I'll be bound, huh?
Well, sir,
Yes, but you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work, huh?
It's only once a year, sir. And as you said, other businesses will be closed. You'll have no one to do business with. And it will waste a lot of expensive coal from the fire.
It's a poor excuse for picking a man's pockets every 25th of December. But I seem to be the only one who knows that. And there's no good talking about it. Have the whole day.
Oh, thank you, sir.
See that you're here all the earlier the next morning. You understand?
Oh, I will. I will indeed. Good night, sir. And Merry Christmas.
The office was closed in a twinkling, and Bob Cratchit, with the long ends of his white comforter dangling below his waist, for he boasted no great coat, went down a slide on Cornhill 20 times in honor of it being Christmas Eve, and then ran home to Camden Town as hard as he could. His family was waiting for him. Scrooge, on the other hand, took his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern. Having read all the newspapers, spent the rest of the evening with his banker's book, and went to his dismal house. Darkness is cheap, and thus Scrooge liked it. The yard was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew its every stone, had to grope with his hands through the fog and the frost to find the door. Scrooge walked through his rooms to see that all was right. Sitting room, bedroom, lumber room, all as they should be. Nobody under the table, nobody under the sofa, nobody under the bed, nobody in the closet. Closed the door. He locked himself in. He double-locked himself in. At last, he was alone. Just as Scrooge preferred.
What a fool the world is. What? What's that? Someone's in the wine cellar. But the door's locked and double locked. Something is coming. Something is coming closer. It's outside my door. I don't believe it. It's a humbug still.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Oh no. What do you want with me?
I want much of you, Ebenezer.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Oh, you're very particular for a ghost. All right then. Who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Jacob Marley? But you're dead. You died 7 years ago.
7 years ago. This very night.
But
What's wrong, Ebenezer? Don't you believe in me?
I do not.
You doubt your senses, Ebenezer.
Yes,
Why?
because little things affect them. Slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheat. You can't be a ghost. You may be an undigested bit of beef or a blot of mustard. but a crumb of cheese. A fragment of an underdone potato. Yes, there may be more gravy than a grave about you. Whatever you are. A humbug, I tell ya! Humbug!
How about now?
All right. I concede you may be who you say. All right, I believe you.
Thank you.
But why? Why do you walk the earth? Why do you come to me, Jacob?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men and travel far and wide to witness what it cannot share, but might have shared on earth and earned to happiness.
Tell me, Jacob. What is that chain that you wear around you?
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard. I'm my own free will. Is its pattern strange to you, Ebenezer?
Cash boxes, keys and padlocks, ledgers and purses?
Yours was as heavy and as long as this 7 years ago. You have labored on it since, Ebenezer.
Oh, Jacob, speak comfort to me, Jacob.
Comfort? I have none to give. I cannot rest. I cannot stay. I cannot linger. Weary journeys lie before me.
You travel fast?
Yes, Ebenezer, on the wings of the wind.
Oh, 7 years dead and traveling all the time.
7 years, Ebenezer. 7 years of remorse. Ebenezer, do you know that no space of regret can make amends for one's life opportunities misused?
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business? Mankind was my business. Charity, mercy, benevolence, they were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop in the comprehensive ocean of my business.
Jacob, don't take on so now.
Listen to me, Ebenezer.
I'll listen to you, Jacob. Go on, Jacob. Speak to me.
Ebenezer, I am here to warn you that you have yet a chance of hope of escaping my fate. Do you hear that, Ebenezer?
Yes, Jacob, yes. You are always a good friend to me, Jacob. Thank you, Jacob. But go on. How shall I escape?
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Haunted? I've already had enough of that.
It is your only chance and hope.
Well, then, I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I just take them all at once, Jacob, and have it over?
Ebenezer, look that, for your own sake, you remember what has passed between us. Remember, when the bell tolls 1, look for the first spirit.
Marley! Jacob Marley!
Scrooge awoke. He was lying on his bed, fully dressed. Suddenly, the curtains of his bed were drawn aside, and Scrooge found himself face to face with the unearthly visitor who drew them.
Ebenezer.
It was a strange figure, like a child.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Who's that?
Ebenezer Scrooge, I have come for you.
You? Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
You're just a child.
I have existed as this for nearly 1900 years. I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
Tonight, your past.
What do you want of me? What brings you here to haunt me?
Your welfare, Ebenezer Scrooge.
A night's unrest is supposed to be good for a man's welfare.
Your salvation, then. Rise and walk with me.
Oh, no. Not out the window. Wait. I can't do that. I'll fall down. I'm not a spirit. I'm mortal. I'll fall.
A touch of my hand upon your heart and you shall fly with me. Come, follow me.
Where are we? What's become of the city? And there's snow upon the ground. Where are we?
These are the shadows of the things that have been.
Oh.
You recognize this countryside?
I know every inch of it. Every rock, every tree.
And that bleak building over there?
Ah, that building. I was a boy there, yes. I went to school in that horrible place.
Do you recollect that path?
I could walk it blindfolded.
Strange you should have forgotten it so many years. Come, let us go closer. Look through the window into that cold, barren room. What do you see, Ebenezer Scrooge?
I see a boy.
A solitary child, neglected by his family. Alone.
Yes, I see. I know that boy. I was often alone, more time for reading and study. The Christmas holiday was a chance to get some extra work done. Time for solitude.
Your lip is trembling, Scrooge. And what is that on your cheek?
It's nothing. It's nothing at all. I wish it's too late now.
What's the matter?
Nothing. Some people came to my door singing Christmas carols last night. There was a boy like that among them. A poor, pale, thin little boy in a ragged coat. I should have liked to have given him something now. That's all.
Is that all? Come, Ebenezer Scrooge. Let us see another Christmas.
In a flash, Scrooge was whisked away to a bright street on a snowy Christmas Eve several years later.
Do you know this place, Ebenezer Scrooge?
Know it? Know it. This is the counting house where I was apprenticed.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. There must be more holly.
Oh, it's my old master. Oh, bless his heart, old Fezziwig. My master alive again. And hosting one of his Christmas parties.
'Tis the season to be... What's all this, darling? Far too much holly.
Oh, there's Mrs. Fezziwig herself. Looking younger than any of them. And the table's all loaded with roasts and ciders, minced meat pies. What a jolly time we used to have. Excuse me, Mrs. Fezziwig.
Whoa! Slow down, my dear boy. You're all a twitter.
That carefree young man with the light heart and the gay smile. Do you recognize him?
Yes. Merciful heaven. How happy I was then.
Small matter for old Fezziwig to make those silly folks so full of joy. He spent only a few pounds of your mortal money. Is that so much that he deserves praise?
Oh, it's not that. It's not that at all, Spirit. Old Fezziwig has the power to make us happy or unhappy, to make our services light or heavy. Oh, his power lies in words and looks, in things so tiny that it's impossible to count them up. Oh, the happiness he gives us was as great as if it had costed
How can you blame Miss Harry, my dear? Ebenezer would be excited. After all, Belle's going to be here very soon.
Belle? Small matter. Small, indeed.
What is the matter?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all, Spirit.
Something, I think.
Oh,
Speak.
only It's just that I would like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk, Bob Cratchit. That's all.
And of a certain young lady?
Ebenezer.
Belle! Belle.
You remember her?
Yes. I remember.
My time grows short, and we've yet another journey to make. Another Christmas Eve with this young woman, some years later.
No, please. Do not show me that Christmas. No. Please spare me this.
You're older now, a man in the prime of life. Your face has begun to wear the signs of care and avarice. Your eyes are greedy, the eager, restless eyes of a miser.
No, please.
She knows it too. That girl by your side? There are tears in her eyes.
It matters little to you. Very little. I know that.
Belle, have I changed towards you?
When we were engaged, we were both poor.
It was better then? Better to be poor?
Better, at least, to be happy. You've changed. You were another man then.
I was a boy. You blame me because I've grown wiser? Have I ever tried to break our engagement?
In words, no.
In what then? I love you, Belle.
You did once.
But Belle...
At first, it may cause you pain to lose me. A very brief pain. But soon, it will be dim. Like a half-remembered dream. An unprofitable dream. And you will be glad to be awake from such a dream.
Belle.
May you be happy in the life you have chosen, Ebenezer.
Belle. Ah. Humbug. That's enough. Show me no more. Take me home. Why do you delight in the torture of me?
These were merely the shadows of the things that have been. That they are what they are. Do not blame me.
Leave me.
Scrooge awakened suddenly and sat bolt upright in his own bed. He remembered the words of Marley's ghost and wondered from which direction the second spectre would appear. At that moment, nothing between a baby and a rhinoceros would have astonished him very much. Now, being prepared for almost anything, he was not by any means prepared for nothing. And consequently, when no shape appeared, he was taken with a violent fit of trembling. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. A quarter of an hour went by, yet nothing came. Then, as he sat in his bed, he became aware gradually of a great blaze of ruddy light, which seemed to shine upon him from the adjoining room. He got up softly and shuffled in his slippers to the door. It was his own sitting room, no doubt about that, but it had undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and ceiling were hung with living green that it looked a perfect grove, from every part of which bright gleaming berries glistened, and such a mighty blaze went roaring up the chimney as had never been known in Scrooge's time, or for many and many a winter season gone. Heaped up on the floor to form a kind of throne were turkeys, geese, game, poultry, great joints of meat, suckling pigs, long wreaths of sausages, mince pies, plum puddings, barrels of oysters, red-hot chestnuts, and seething bowls of punch that made the chamber dim with their delicious steam. In easy state upon this couch, there sat a jolly giant, glorious to see, who bore a glowing torch and held it up, high up, to shed its light on Scrooge as he came peeping round the door.
Come in, Ebenezer Scrooge. Come in and know me better, man.
Who?
I am the ghost of Christmas present.
You're different from the other spirit. You're tall, almost a giant. And that great torch you carry.
Its light pours into the homes of rich and poor alike.
You're a little absent-minded spirit.
No, I am a large absent-minded spirit. My being is filled with the here and now, and the now is...
Ah, Christmas. I see. I cannot say I have ever met such a being as you before.
Is that so? Well, over 1,800 of my brothers and sisters have come before me.
1,800, you say? Imagine the grocery bill. Spirit, take me where you will. Last time I went against my will and learnt a lesson which is working now. If you have anything to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe, Ebenezer Scrooge. Touch my robe.
Ooh. Oh, where have you brought me, Spirit?
Well done, everyone. Now we've opened the presents and sung the carols. What now, my love?
A game, Fred.
Yes, we must have a game at Christmas.
My dear nephew Fred and his wife, Clara.
Oh, it's wonderful. Who shall start?
You, Fred. You always think of good ones.
And I must admit I have a good one, my love. Guess.
Vegetable.
No.
Animal, then.
What else?
What else indeed? Are you a handsome animal?
Certainly not.
Found on a farm.
No.
In the city?
Usually.
Is it an unwanted creature? One to usually cause misery to others?
Often.
A bug.
A mouse.
A rat.
A skunk.
A skunk.
I said it first.
No, and no. Oh my goodness, this is just too wonderful.
Wait. Are you wealthy?
Yes.
And are you generous with your wealth?
Mm-mm.
I think I have it.
I think you do too.
Then what?
What?
It's Ebenezer Scrooge!
Yes!
Oh, that was wonderful, Fred.
My own family. How he must hate me if he thinks of me like this.
In all fairness, friends, I must still raise a glass to him on this day. Whatever has made him such a creature who, above all things, even with his wealth, is a lonely heart first and foremost. And I will never, no matter how many times he wishes it, give up on him. The greatest gift I could ever ask for on Christmas would be my dear uncle to know he is loved, admired, and even cherished. Maybe one day he could share this laugh with us. To Ebenezer Scrooge!
To Ebenezer Scrooge!
Come, there is much to see. A humble dwelling in a humble street.
It's humble enough.
Yet there is happiness there.
Who are these people? Who's that woman? And the children?
These are the family of your clerk, Bob Cratchit. His wife, dressed in a twice-turned gown, but brave in ribbons, laying the table for their Christmas dinner. And there, assisting her, is her daughter, Belinda. And that young man with the fork and the stuffing, that's Master Peter Cratchit. And the two little Cratchits. Listen, Scrooge.
Here's Martha, Mother.
Why, bless your heart alive, Martha. My dear, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Mother.
How late you are, my dear.
Oh, we did a deal of work to finish up last night, and we had to clear away this morning.
Well, never mind as long as you're here now. Sit ye down before the fire and have a warm.
Where's Father?
He's been to church with Tiny Tim. They'll be along directly.
How is Tiny Tim, Mother? Any better at all?
Sometimes I think he is, and sometimes I think, oh dear God, if anything should happen to Tiny Tim.
You mustn't ever think such a thing.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Oh, Martha, welcome, my dear.
Merry Christmas, Father, and Tim.
Merry Christmas, Martha.
Oh, Tim, you darling. Oh, Father, I'm so glad to be home.
And we're so glad to have you, Martha.
And how did little Tim behave in church, Bob?
Oh, as good as gold and better.
I like church, Mother.
Oh, they sang the nicest songs. I hope people saw me there.
Saw you there? Why, Tim?
Well, don't you see? Because I'm lame, and if they saw me with my crutch, it might be pleasant for them to remember on Christmas who made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Bless you, my son.
I'm hungry.
Yes, children. We're all ready. Come take your places now. And Bob, wait your turn. There's plenty. Stuffing and dressing and plum pudding for all of you. Martha, you take care of Tiny Tim. You see that Tim eats plenty. He must get tall and well. Now sit down, everyone.
Now, my dears, shall we say grace?
What a remarkable family.
We offer this humble prayer.
And the little one,
Tiny Tim,
wise beyond his years.
and a heart filled with the milk of kindness.
Amen.
And now, my dears, with such a dinner, a toast. A Merry Christmas to us all, and God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
Amen.
And now, to Mr. Scrooge. I give you a toast to Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast indeed. Who pays you all of 15 shillings a week? I wish you had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast on, and I'd hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
Oh, my dear, the children. Christmas Day.
Well, it should be Christmas Day, I'm sure, on which one drinks to health of such an odious, stingy, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Bob. Nobody knows it better than you, poor fellow.
Dear, Christmas Day.
Very well. I'll drink his health for your sake, and the day's, not for his. Long life to him, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
And I say God bless him too, and everyone.
There was nothing of high mark in all this. They were not a handsome family, these Cratchits. They were not well-dressed. Their shoes were far from being waterproof. Their clothes were scanty, and had known, very likely, the insides of a pawnbroker's. But they were happy, grateful, pleased with one another, and contented with the time. When at last they faded, Scrooge had his eye upon them, and especially on Tiny Tim until the last.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in a poor chimney corner and a crutch without a corner, carefully preserved.
No, kind spirit. Say that he will be spared. Say he'll live.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, Ebenezer, the child will die. But if he's going to die, he'd better do it and decrease the surplus population.
You use my words against me.
Yes, so that you may think about where the surplus is and how to find it. Come.
Many calls Scrooge made that night with the ghost of Christmas present. Down among the miners they went, who labor in the bowels of the earth, and out to sea among the sailors at their watch. Dark, ghostly figures in their several stations. Much they saw, and far they went, and many places they visited, but always with a happy end. The spirits stood beside sick beds, and they were cheerful. On foreign lands, and they were close at home. By poverty, and it was rich. In almshouse, hospital, and jail, where vain man in his little brief authority had not made fast the door and barred the spirit out, the spirit left his blessing. It was a long night, if it was only a night. And it was strange, too, that while Scrooge remained unaltered in his outward form, the ghost grew older, clearly older.
Spirit, do you grow old?
My life upon this globe is very brief, Ebenezer. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight, upon the stroke of 12.
No, not yet. Not yet, Spirit. There are still things that I wish to learn.
Nothing Scrooge could do or say would stop the reckoning of those infernal bells.
Please, you can teach me so much. There are so much more to learn.
These you will learn from still another spirit. Still another spirit, Ebenezer.
You mean the ghost of yet to come? But must I?
Go forth and know him better, man.
Scrooge looked about him for the ghost. It had vanished, and he found himself once more in his bed, in his dressing gown, and his nightcap on his head. He heard the clock strike, and then he remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley, and lifting up his eyes, beheld the third spirit. A solemn phantom, shrouded in black, draped and hooded, coming towards him, slowly and silently, like a mist along the ground.
I know you. You are the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You'll show me the shadows of things that have not happened but will happen in the time before us. Is that not so? Spirit, I fear you more than any specter I've seen, yet I know your purpose is to do me good. And as I hope to live to be another man from what I was, lead on. The night's waning fast, and time's precious. Spirit, why have you brought me here again? Here to Bob's Cratchit's home? But it's not the same. What? Why is it so quiet? It's so very quiet here.
Mother, please.
Oh, my son. My little son, Tiny Tim. I loved him so much.
Oh, Mother dear, you mustn't. It's almost time for Father to be home. Don't let him see you crying.
Yes, Martha.
He's late tonight.
He walks slower than he used to. And yet I've known him to walk very fast indeed, with Tiny Tim on his shoulders.
So have I, Mother.
But he was light to carry, and his father loved him so that it was no trouble. No trouble. Bob!
Good evening, my dear.
My love.
Yes, I'm sorry for being late, my dear. I went to the churchyard today. I wish you could have gone with me. It would have done your heart good to see how sweet and green a place it is. But you'll see it often. I promised him. Yes, I promised Tiny Tim we'd walk there on a Sunday.
Father.
It's God's will, Bob.
I'm trying to understand it, my dear. My son. My little Tiny Tim. How I loved him so.
No, not Tiny Tim. Oh, that is cruel. Cruel. Spirit, can't you give me one ray of hope that I may change all that? That Tiny Tim may live? Where are you taking me now? Here, a common street, Spirit. What is there for me to learn here? Who are those men?
I don't know much about it either way. I only know that he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
It's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life, I don't know anybody to go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer.
They don't mind going, I suppose? If lunch is provided.
Come to think of it, I'll bet I was his best friend.
What now?
We used to nod at each other when we met in the street.
I know those men, Spirit. They are respected businessmen. Never have I heard them speak so coldly about another. What is the meaning of such a vision, Spirit? Where are you going now? Wait! What is this place?
It was a street that Scrooge had never seen before. Not because he never had the chance to walk it before, but because he never would dare walk it before. Slowly, the spirit guided him into a dilapidated building that could not have been said to have been formerly been a home, or a factory, or anything.
Mr. Newbury. Evening, sir. What brings you on a cold night like this?
Business.
Music to me ears, sir. Music to me ears. We're always open for business, aren't we? No matter what the season, no matter what the reason, there's always money to be made. Just like your profession, sir. I'm a 365-day-a-year enterprise. Death take no holiday, so why should we, huh? Now, what have you got for me?
I've only a few items, but they are of good quality.
Well, all right, then bring them over. Let's have a look.
Move! I'm first. Oh, Mr. Newbury, I didn't see you there.
Mrs. Dilber?
A Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, Merry Christmas. Fancy us meeting up here.
If I'd known you was coming here, we could have split a cab ride, I suppose, eh?
Yes, although I do not make this a common practice, Mrs. Dilber, but with certain clients, one needs to cover expenses. I would prefer that we keep this a secret between us.
Of course, Mr. Newbury. I understand completely. I don't begrudge you for what you do. Every person has a right to take care of themselves, they have.
Very true.
He did.
No man more so.
And who's the worse for the loss of a few things like these? Not a dead man, I suppose.
They're of no use to it now.
All right, then, all right, come on. Time is money. You two can prattle away on your own time, not mine. Now, who wants to go first?
Ladies first.
Oh, no, Mr. Newbury. You were here first and you should go first.
Very well.
Let's see now. High quality, huh? That's what you said.
Yes, that's a very fine pencil case.
There's lots of these around, not worth as much as they used to be.
And those cufflinks are pure gold.
Huh. Plated, I think. And if you think different, you can take them back. Okay. Well, there's not really worth much of anything, is there? I could make a bob or two on this. Let's see now. Is that it, then?
That's it.
All right. I'll give you 12 bob for the lot. And I wouldn't give you another 6 even if I was to be boiled in oil for not doing it. That's a fair price, Mr. Newbury. Let's see what you've got now, dearie.
I've got his bed curtains. Very fine, very nice ones, too.
Oh, I shall see. Oh, you're right, these are nice. Feel that, it's very good quality. Mrs. Dilber, very nice. So how did you come by these then? Did you take them down, rings and all, with him lying there?
Yes, I did. And why not? Why shouldn't I take him if I can? I'm just looking out for myself. Why should I care about him? He never gave a care about me. Why shouldn't I take his bed curtains? He owed me.
All right, dearie. You don't need to defend yourself to the likes of me. What's this then? His blankets?
Of course they're his blankets. Whose else would they be? He isn't likely to catch cold without him.
Wait, he didn't die of anything catching, did he?
If he had, I certainly wouldn't have come near him.
Oh, look at this. Oh, this is very fine work, Mrs. Dilber. Very high quality.
That's the best shirt he had, and a fine one, too. You can look through that till your eyes ache and you won't find one hole in it, nor threadbare place. They'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for me.
What do you mean by wasted it?
Well, they were going to bury him in it, but I took it off him.
It's much easier to get things off the corpse before it's buried, if you know what I mean, Mrs. Dilber.
Right you are, and if he hadn't frightened everyone away from him when he was alive, if he'd had somebody there to look after him when he was struck with his last breath, instead of lying there all alone gasping out his last breath.
True words have never been spoken. It was a judgment upon him.
All right, here you go, dearie. This is more than fair. always give too much to the ladies. It's bound to be me downfall.
Thank you, Joe.
Well, this concludes our business. Wherever the poor bugger is at, I must thank him for his charitable donations to our little enterprise.
Yeah.
You should. It was the only charity he ever did.
Spirit, I see the lesson you are trying to teach me. The case of this unhappy man might be my own. My life tends that way now, but if I am to change, then this terrible ending need not be. I will not die alone and unloved. I am most grateful to you. Thank you very much. I have learned my lesson. Spirit, help me. Who is this man that died? Is there no one to mourn the poor creature? No one to follow him to the grave? Perhaps they'll give him a green grave at least. Like poor Tiny Tim, perhaps? Spirit, where are we now? Merciful heavens, we're in a graveyard. Overrun by grass and weeds. Choked with too much burning, desolate, lonely, crumbling graves. Spirit, before I draw near to that gravestone, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of things that will be? Or are these the shadows of things that may be only? Huh? Will you not speak to me, Spirit? What is that grave to which you point? There's writing on that stone. The name on that stone is Ebenezer Scrooge. Oh no, Spirit, no. No, please hear me, Spirit. I am not the man I was. Why show me this if I am past all hope? Tell me that I could change these dreadful shadows that you've shown me by an altered life. I'll honor Christmas in my heart. I'll try to keep it all here. I'll live in the past, in the present, and the future. I'll not shut out the lessons that they teach. Tell me, oh God, tell me that I can sponge away all the writing on the stone, Spirit. I beg you, Spirit. I beg you. Spirit, I promise on my knees. I promise. What's this? These are my own drapes. I'm home. I'm in my own bed. In my own room.
Yes, the bed was his own. The room was his own. Ebenezer had returned back in his bed as the sun shone brightly through his window.
And the sun! Oh, the sun's shining. It's clear. Oh, it's bright. No fog. Oh, what a beautiful day. Oh, glorious. Oh, hey, you boy. Hey, boy. Over here.
Yes, sir.
What's today?
What's that, sir?
What a delightful boy. What day is it, my fine fellow?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
Christmas Day? Well, then I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. All in one night? Heaven be praised.
How's that, sir?
Okay, listen, my lad. Do you know where the poulter is in the next street?
I should say so.
Tell me, do you know if they have sold the prize turkey that was hanging in the window?
The one as big as me?
Oh, yes, my delightful boy. Yes, it's a pleasure to talk to you, my friend.
It's hanging there now, sir.
That's wonderful. Go down there, Helia, and tell him to send it to Bob Cratchit and his family on Broad Street. And mind you, they're not to know who paid for it. Now, go along. Hurry, my lad. Oh, here, wait a minute. Here's half a crown for your troubles, and another if you can get there in less than half an hour.
Yes, sir. And a Merry Christmas, sir.
And a Merry Christmas to you, my clever boy. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm light as a feather. I'm as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. Merry Christmas! A Merry Christmas to everybody, and a Happy New Year to all the world. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
Oh, my dear sir,
Merry
how
Christmas.
do you do?
I beg your pardon?
Well, you, sir, aren't you the gentleman that came to my office in regards to that charity?
Why, yes, sir.
Merry Christmas to you. And allow me to ask for your pardon for my conduct the other day, sir. And will you have the goodness to accept... Well, I think I prefer to whisper this.
Well, Lord bless me. My dear Mr. Scrooge, you wish to donate that much?
If you please, and not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Will you do me that favor?
Well, my dear sir, I don't know what to say to such generosity.
Now, don't say anything, please, and come and see me. You will, yes, you will come and see me, and we will straighten everything out over a drink.
Next morning, Scrooge was early at his office. He went early for a reason. If he could only be there first and catch Bob Cratchit coming late. That was the thing he'd set his heart upon. And he did it. Yes, he did. The clock struck 9. No Bob. 1:15. No Bob. Scrooge sat with his door wide open that he might see him come in. At last he came, bidding a quick farewell to Mrs. Cratchit, whom had accompanied him on this beautiful morning. His hat was off before he opened the door, his comforter too. He was on his stool in a jiffy, driving away with his pen as if he were trying to overtake 9 o'clock.
15 and 21, 6 and carry the 1, 24 and carry the 2, 30, 31 and 8 and 9.
Hello, Cratchit.
Yes, sir.
Step this way, Cratchit, if you please. Cratchit, what do you mean by coming in at this time of day,
But I'm very sorry, sir. I am behind my time.
Yes, you are. Yes, I think you are.
Oh, it's only once a year, Mr. Scrooge. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
I'll tell you what, my friend. I'll not stand for this sort of thing any longer. Bob Cratchit, I have had my fill of you.
And I have had my fill of you, Mr. Scrooge.
I am speaking to Bob Cratchit, and therefore...
I will not let you speak to my husband like that, after all these years of faithful service.
Emmy, don't.
Years indeed, and therefore, Bob Cratchit, I'm about to raise your salary!
Pardon?
Yes, Bob, raise your salary.
Mr. Scrooge, are you quite yourself, sir?
No. No, thank heaven. I am not quite myself. Merry Christmas, Bob. Merry Christmas, my good fellow. A merrier Christmas than I've given you in many a year. I shall raise your salary, pay your mortgage for your house, and we'll see what we can do for Tiny Tim and the rest of your family.
Oh! Well, darling, I will leave you to discuss things with Mr. Scrooge.
What a wonderful wife you have, Bob. Let's get some cover to that fire, and we'll discuss it this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop, huh? Bob, make up that fire, make it up, and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I.
Yes, Mr. Scrooge.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. To Fred, he became the Uncle Fred always yearned for. To Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew. or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh and little heeded them. His own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. It was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that be truly said of us, of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.